what's up, man? How you doing this week?
Tough one, but we're here now. It's a good Monday night. I'm here chatting with you, so I'm okay. How about you, man?
Rolling with the punches, man. Just like everybody.
Yeah.
You know, Kate, let me ask you something, man. You know that last week was my birthday, right?
Indeed.
I turned the very young age of let's just say I'm in the 40s now, okay? And Kay, I did a little exercise that I want to talk to you about because as you know, the older you get, you start looking back and thinking about things a little bit differently. And I actually did an exercise that I want to tell you about because I'd like for you to maybe one day engage in it and maybe you'll learn something about yourself that you didn't know was there. So check this out.
So before we begin, I'll just go ahead and point out and just say what you do in the confines of your home with your loved ones are solely like your purview, sir. I'm just saying it sounds a little bit suspect, man.
Nothing suspect or weird here,
I mean,
right? We're a family-friendly show here, okay?
Let's just be honest. You are the sole proprietor of the Missionary Gamer tier. I'm just saying.
Okay? You'll see the reason. Maybe this what I have here, this exercise will show you why I despise missionary gamers. Okay.
Oh my goodness. Here we go. Okay.
But on a serious note, check this out. So what I did was I just started thinking back to like when I was younger and I started thinking about like all the things that I like. And I wanted to really narrow down like what year in history kind of formulated who John Wolfe is. Okay. I wanted to pinpoint a time in history to look at everything the way I am now. My likes, my dislikes, the things that I'm into, my favorites of all time and stuff like that. And I narrowed it down to 1 year, one specific year. And that year, because you know how we're always talking about the graybeards, right?
Yeah.
We're the graybeards. Okay. I'm in there too. So check this out. 1991, Mr. K. Asante is my year.
Okay.
In 1991, K, I was 8 years old. All right. I have a whole list here of things that happened that year in pop culture and in history and stuff like that. But, you know, let me tell you about the fun stuff. So check this out. Okay. How about a little movie came out in 1991 that I remember going to see with my mom and dad called Terminator 2. Okay. That's the year Terminator 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That kind of it is my interest in films, the action summer blockbuster type movie. Okay, is really what I'm into. In for some music, how about this? Okay, Metallica, the Black Album came out that year. Okay. And we also had Nirvana with Nevermind. We had a Tribe Called Quest. Okay.
So you're saying it was a year of years, is what you're saying. Okay, I get that. Yes. Okay.
Check this out. Let's move over to sports a little bit.
Okay.
1991, the first year that Michael Jordan wins his first NBA championship. Michael Jordan being my all-time favorite of all time. Okay. Let's move into a little bit more sports here. Check this out. WrestleMania 7. Okay. It was there were two main events. And this is why this is the event that made me love wrestling so much because it was a spectacle. It was Hulk Hogan versus Sergeant Slaughter when Sergeant Slaughter turned into a turncoat. Remember that? That supposedly he had gone over to on the Iraq side, all right, of the Gulf War.
Oh my God, that's ridiculous, man. My God.
Check this out. in gaming, because that's what we're all here for, and that's our what we share. Check this out, Mr. Asante. It is the height of what I feel are the arcade cabinets. You have games releasing that year, such as the Simpsons arcade game. Of course, TMNT. All right. Staples. You had Street Fighter 2 being released. All right, on the Super Nintendo. All right. You had Super Mario World, Pilot Wings, F-Zero. You had the Sega Genesis doing its thing with Road Rash. A certain Blue Blur was released that year.
I was about to say, you started with Road Rash? You wouldn't start with Sonic the Hedgehog? What's wrong with you?
Sonic the Hedgehog. We have let's see what else I have here. How about this? How about the formation of these companies, which are staples for gaming for me? id Software was established in 1991. Vicarious Visions.
Yes, and those who don't know who they are, look in the salt mines of Call of Duty. That's where they are right now. But continue.
I love me some COD, right? How about how about the big one, Bungie? Okay, 1991, and Blizzard Entertainment. Okay, so we also had other good games such as Link to the Past, Final Fantasy IV. This is also the height of what I feel is the greatest period of comic book history, where you had Jim Lee, Todd McFarlane at the top of their game, drawing from Marvel all these comic books that will go on to sell all-time numbers. X-Men being a thing. You know how Jim Lee kind of spiraled the X-Men cartoons and,
turned
and
it
that
into
movement.
Yes.
So, in other words, tell me 1991 was not kick-ass in history.
I won't disagree with you. I won't disagree that like with all the titles you have rattled off, you have convinced me that 91 specifically had some interesting titles.
Big.
So okay. So what I will tell you is, while you were telling me the definitives of that year, I will tell you I can't come up with one year. It's not possible, because you bemoan missionary gaming. I am the essence of a person who is an anti in that respect, because I feel like I can point to a different time period for different avenues of gaming. So for example, when it comes to like console gaming, I can point to a specific year that for me was like pinnacle console gaming time frame, which was like 95, I'd say. Because and it's not to say that that's the year that the best games came out, but that's the year that I think I got the most out of it. So I got my hands on a bunch of games from the past, and also that year had amazing games that released in 95, I'd say. So that's, to me, the pinnacle of console time frame. To me, the pinnacle of 3D movement console, like when we started getting into the modern era, I'd say 2002, because that was when I got my hands on the OG Xbox, and like that was my transition between Dreamcast and Xbox right there. So to me, that time was really pivotal, because I learned a lot during that time frame, right? And then right around, I'd say probably in parallel between the 98 to about 2003 is my PC revolution happened, where everything was all PC all the time. So it's like, it's hard for me to pick one spot to say, that's the time. You know what I mean?
So I was in your same boat the other day while I was doing this assignment. The reason that I narrowed it down to 1991 is because I really wanted to challenge myself to really pinpoint and look at everything that I am interested in today as, 40-something-year-old John Wolf, and say, what was the year? At what age was I that all of this was instilled into my brain, that now as a grown adult and man, I just love this stuff, man. And that's the year that I really went into my own, right? And if you look at that list, the music, the sports, the wrestling, everything. I believe that 8-year-old range is where my brain finally formulated my likes for the future. And that's the nostalgia hits that we get, I think, come from that year, from 1991. That's where it starts. So that's why I wanted to pinpoint it.
So let me ask you one weird question, right? And then we'll get onto the show proper. Let me ask you one weird question. If I were to ask you of one game that would solidify your love of this medium, but a game that nobody else would pick, a game that like people would go, really? What would that be for you?
I think it would have to be Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Turtles in Time.
Oh, come on, that's an easy. That is a radio hit.
All right, so not a radio.
That's a radio hit. Not a radio hit.
Check this out. How about the Chronicles of Riddick on the original Xbox?
Also a radio hit. Come on,
Kay, you're killing me here.
something interesting and weird. Come on.
You know I like weird games. Okay, I've given you my list of weird games.
I want you to give me an obscure Genesis game that people would go really and have to go Google it to figure it out.
Booger Man.
Booger Man?
Look that up.
Are you serious right now? Y'all make people go look up Booger Man. All
look
right.
it up.
Okay.
Look it up.
Wow. Okay. Well, for me, and you could probably like put the fraud alert on me and say this is also a radio hit, but for me, oddly enough, it was Donkey Kong Country.
Wow. Okay. I did not get to play Donkey Kong Country because at that age range, my mom didn't have a lot of money to get me games, but I did have a friend that he did have it, and I played the first one. I didn't play 2 or 3 till much later.
Super Nintendo Donkey Kong Country. That's what I'm talking about.
Yes.
And that came out, I think, in '94.
Yes.
Donkey Kong Country, Super Nintendo. That was the game.
Yes.
Like,
and did you know
the level?
And I'm sorry to interrupt you. Did you know that Sega had first dibs on that? And Sega Japan said no to the technology.
Wow. Look at that. That's some interesting stuff.
We'll talk about that at a later date.
Wow. Okay. But yes, that game, like, oddly enough, that game is in my mental headcanon from way back when. The level where you're in the freaking jumping from one train car to another train car. That is like cemented in my zeitgeist forever. A game we'll talk about today that I've been playing has that level basically transposed in it. In that, it just brings it all right back. So yes, for me, Donkey Kong Country. So much so that even my children have all played Donkey Kong Country because I've made them play it.
Nice.
They've all played it. Yes,
you're doing it the right way, Mr. Asante. Okay.
Nice.
So what's up, everyone? I see a lot of good people in the chat already. Welcome to the Gamers Playground, officially episode 24. We titled "Gotta Catch 'Em All," and we'll get into that in a little bit. Okay, and that's a little
talking
Pokemon.
About Power World.
No, I know this is a little play on the algorithm there, as I know Power World right now, setting the world on fire. Guys, it's officially episode 24. Me and Kay were off last week. Had a little birthday dinner to go to and stuff like that, but we're back this week. Kay, let's get into the first thing because I got a lot of stuff to talk to you about. I did some shopping on for my birthday. I got a lot of. Let's just say I'm slowly encroaching on Mr. Joanna Dark's title for handheld.
Oh no!
Here, okay,
you're serious?
Yeah. He's feeling it. He's going like this right now. Look, he's going like this right now. Okay,
you know what? Although he's not here to defend his honor, I would say this man has multiple hundreds of dollars worth of handsets.
Let's not go.
I mean, are you in like big dog territory? Is that where we're going right now?
I'm in big dog, medium dog, and small
you're in medium dog territory. Okay.
Let's just say I'm not a missionary handheld gamer. Okay, like he is. Okay. All right. So this is
like he is. Wow. Okay. All right. Go ahead. Let's see what you got.
So first, but before we get there. Let's talk about something that you have been working on, and I understand, that you have completed such tasks. You might have a couple of things lingering, but I did call you the other day, and this thing had you kind of in a pickle here, man. So tell me how you got through it. Tell me what you got. Tell us what you got done.
So, so I will share my screen in a second, and I will share what I've accomplished. Basically, what I've built, and viewers of this show will know. And I've been talking about it with folks in the Discord. I've been trying to put together or update my home server. And let me share that. So there you go. This is the home server. That's what you're looking at right now. I've been trying to update the home server, trying to make sure that, it's easily accessible and people, and I can, get an update and use it and get it all working. Don't worry about seeing my private IP. Don't worry. I'm behind a good firewall. So you good. Anyway, so this is it. I finally put it together. It's basically a bunch of old parts I found in my garage. i7 processor. I think it's like a 8th gen. Core 8700K. So 8th gen processor, 6 cores, 12 threads, 32 gigs of RAM, and by 32 gigs of RAM. And if you look at the pool, it's right now has 20 terabytes of free space available.
Wow!
But if you look at under storage, you will see it's got 33 terabytes of usable space with 41% used.
Hold on, let me get the president on the line, because if they need to save anything in the government, you're yo, Biden, You're gonna have to call Asante because he can store your files.
So yes, this is the home server, and once you configure it, it can be. This is basically the dashboard. You can see it from outside the internet. Outside, go online and access it. Oh, 40% of what? Oh, 40% of everything. I have music, old music files. So I used to be a musician. Whenever you create files, when you master it, you do it raw. So in other words, each file is like 200-300 megabytes, 400 megabytes sometimes, and that's one file for audio. So let's say you have audio tracks, somebody singing in addition to the music tracks, you have a huge file, right? So if I ever want to edit and I ever want to modify that file, you don't just put it to MP3 or whatever and move on. You keep the original master. So I have big files that are like music files that I produced.
Is there any truth that you have that Insomniac leak files in there too? No, he does not have that. Okay.
So yeah, I have a bunch of old recorded masters on there. That's where I keep my old stuff, old information, old pictures. You go on vacation, you come back, a lot of video, stuff like that. So it's just a bunch of stuff, and it's not just this. I keep a copy here, and then stuff that I need to put in like active storage or cold storage, things that are important. That's backed up to the cloud. So
that's amazing.
But for this audience here, the reason why it's interesting, and I'm gonna keep this one on an educational only, but I'm gonna keep this educational. The reason why this audience here might be interested is this is also where I keep all of the ROM libraries. So of the 36 terabytes, if I ever need to, throw some ROMs to say a handheld device or 2 or 3 or 4 or whatever, you connect it to an SMB share for my PCMR guys. You have an SMB share that's authenticated. So you go in there, you put your username and your password in, it sees it, boom, drop it down, and you have it on your drive. And you never have to go poking with USB sticks and all this. No, it's all on the SMB share. You connect it and you throw your files on there that way.
That's amazing.
So I have it on there.
Let me ask you, will that work? Like, for example, and we're going to talk about this later on one of the things that I got. Will this work like on an Android device as well?
I mean, yeah, like I can access this on anything. It's basically your home server. Like it's your huge hard drive in the sky, if you will.
Wow.
And depending on what software you want to interface with it, you can either access it from a browser or you can access it from actual software. Yeah. So just to give you kind of an understanding of what it can do potentially. So this is just giving you a high level of all the things it does. This thing it gives you your temperature readings, it gives you your memory usage, how much is in the pool, the networking and all of that. But if you go under storage, you can see how much actual storage is in use. I can show you the disks. These are all the disks. These are 7 terabytes each for a total of 59 terabytes, 60 terabytes.
Nice.
But only 36 is usable because all of them are striped. So in case 1 or 2 disks are lost, you can still keep your data. You know what I'm saying?
So what you're saying is that for everyone crying that physical is going away, you ain't even worried about it. It's not even worried about it.
Well, I ain't worried about it because there's only one way to truly own and own your stuff. That's to have it on your own local drive. If you have it in like say a Steam library, yeah, good luck until Steam decides, we don't need it no more. You know what I'm saying?
What's up, 108 Dragons? 108 Dragons giving you a call out there, man. You're gonna have to show up on the Dragon's Den. You guys.
Hey, man. I never duck lemon, man. Whatever I can hang out with in the Dragon's Den, I am happy to do so. Let's work out the logistics in the background. I've been there before. I've been in the Dragon's Den before. I thought I saw Everborn Saga on there last week talking that smack. Yes.
He was on there. He let he let his hair down, so to speak. We want to see King Asante let his hair down too.
Well, sometimes you got to let the curls down. Yeah.
So
real quick, what I wanted to show you.
Go ahead.
What I wanted to show you on this. The last thing I wanted to show you. The thing that might be interesting to some folks here, and I'll just put this out here, and those who know what these are will know what these are. And if you don't know what these are, you can go Google them. But there are some interesting
familiar. A couple of them.
There are some interesting apps on there. But there's an app store. It's a whole app store ecosystem here. Right? These are the apps that are currently running on my home server right now. So if you go into Discover, you can literally find a bunch of apps that the community have created, and it's for a whole bunch of different things, right? Some people are using the home servers to create like what do you call it? Private servers for Minecraft, private servers for CS:GO. You know, you can use this for a private server for various many applications you want to do, or various other things. They're using it for the photos. They're using it for so many different things that people can use it for. And anytime anybody comes up with something new, they can create an app. They put an app together, and other people can make benefit and make use of it. So everything you're looking at right now, when I first put this home server together, it only had one app store. So if you look over here under catalogs in the top right hand corner, it says 2, because I found another app store that has open source stuff and I added them in too. There are many app stores. So whenever you find, hey, this thing can do this, it can do that, it can, you know, whatever interesting thing that the community has come up with, you can load the app store, download your own app, and you're running it.
And right? those apps are independently created, like through the True NAS like web store.
Yes, okay. Exactly. So and the front end of it for the consumer, it's created in its nice little package and all of that. For the back end PCMR among you, they're all created in containers. They're backed by Docker. You don't need to know what any of that is. It just keeps it nice and concise. Now, the thing that will kick you in the butt, which kicked me in the butt for a couple of days until I figured it out, was your permissions. Because you gotta set up permissions for each of them to talk to each other and not overwrite each other as far as permissioning is concerned. So for the purposes of what I'm doing, I'm trying to get this application to talk to this folder while another application can grab the folder's information and move it someplace else. Like there's some automation in the background that I'm running there, and you have to have permissions to allow these applications to talk to each other. Gotcha. But yeah, long story short, it's come together. It's looking good. It's not bad, you know. It just was a pain in the butt to put together in the last bit there because I'm not a Linux admin.
How many man hours do you think you put into this?
Oh, I'd say it took me about 10 hours.
Oh, okay.
7 to 10 hours, something like that. Yeah.
Oh, that's not too bad. On the emulation stuff, I worked like a full work week to get all that stuff put together. Like 40 hours, man. But you know, I'm working here, so
no. That's awesome. Most of this stuff I know what I'm doing. It's just that some of the stuff like is a pain in the butt. You know, some of the stuff is the permissions. The permissions slowed me down. Yes, the permission thing slowed me down. But
is that something that caught you off guard? Is that something that caught you off guard? No, you knew that was part of the process.
I knew that was going to be a pain in the butt. Everybody knows it's a pain in the butt, but it is what it is, right? Like you can figure it out. Or worst case scenario, you can be a troglodyte and just open source it, open it up so that everybody can access everything else, which is stupid. Hey, wow, check this out. So as I was saying, the community can provide. So y'all know the big thing out there is Pal World taking over the world, taking over the scene. Server. Check it out. Okay. Pal World open source server. You hit it, I click on it, I hit install, and it'll basically install the Pal World server. I can connect to it, and then others I can host games from my server here. Pretty cool.
That's cool.
Right?
Yeah, that's cool.
Minecraft, CS:GO, Terraria, Skyrim, whole bunch of different things you can do on here. So these are some of the things you can do with a home server. Yeah.
Okay. All right, Kay. I'm glad that things are looking good for you. So I got one last question about the server stuff. So, and of course I'm asking this because I'm going to eventually venture into this myself. For those drives that you had like 7 drives there that you showed me, right?
Yeah.
If those drives, God forbid, were to go bad, do you lose everything, or is this part of this that it gets uploaded?
That's exactly. So I have a setup where I have an interim and then a late stage storage, right? So the interim is this, and then late stage storage is a OneDrive server in the cloud, a terabyte OneDrive server. But you don't want to have like 36 terabytes of OneDrive space, right? Only critical stuff goes into my OneDrive server, right? Okay. So there are things I can lose and things I can't lose, right?
Right.
So as far as just stuff on site here, right? The reason why, if you look at the drives here, let me go back to drives. If you look at the disks themselves, you'll notice that if you combine all the disk sizes together, they are a larger pool than you would think. Right? It's not just the amount of storage that I'm using is the amount of storage I have. It's because the system has been striped. I've set it up so that, and it's a level of RAID is what it's called. I've set it up so that if you lose one drive, they're in one big pool. So it's not like 7 different drives in the system. It's one big drive in the system. And if one disk fails or 2 disks fail, it'll say, "Oh, your consistency is depreciated, or your stability has been depreciated." Then I have time to go install new drives, and it saves it, right? If I don't install those new drives, I can't add any more. But what it'll do is it'll reshuffle the deck, if you will, and then it'll compensate for the extra space that I've lost, because it stripes the data over multiple disks. Nice. You understand? And they do it that way so that you can stand to lose 1 or 2 disks, and you won't lose any bit of actual data.
Okay. All right, man. I mean, it sounds awesome. You know, this is this podcast dedicated to tech talk. So anything that's tech related, we bring it up, man. And this looks very intuitive and something, something to really work on a nice. You basically have a home server. That's exactly what you wanted. So
it's exactly it. That is home server. And now you'd want to know, like, if you're at home, how do you deal with it on your laptop or something like that? You set up an SMB share. So you go on the shares, you set up a share, you call it what you will, and you point it to the place where you want it to point it to. So now every time I go to that share on my PC, on my desktop, at home, anywhere I am, you're inside that folder, and you can go into multiple folders. You do whatever the heck you want with it, Or let's say you have a home server that you have backed by a certain entertainment application. All the information connects to said entertainment application, and then it'll stream to that screen wherever you happen to be, including a Tesla Model 3 while you're driving. But that's neither here nor there. Let us move forward.
Nice. So the Tesla's really what threw you over the plunge. You wanted to watch stuff while you were driving. I gotcha. So hey, I don't blame you, dude. I would do the same thing. All right, Kay. So
I'm always parked. I promise. I'm always parked when I do that. Because the superchargers take like 20 minutes. You got to watch something on screen.
Right, absolutely.
Continue.
Absolutely. Yes. All right. So a couple of things, man, that came up during the last 2 weeks that we've talked. One of them, of course, is all the fun stuff that I got for my birthday, all the fun little gadgets that I got and I worked on and I tweaked, and I'm still working on some things here and there. But there is one thing on the PC side that I want to talk to you about. And let me just pull that up real fast.
Are those goblets on the side of you, or bongs?
What's that?
I just noticed that. Right on the side of you, on this side, right here, on that side.
You're talking about on this side right here? Or
no,
side?
On the opposite, on that side, exactly. Those goblets you drink out of, or are those bongs?
Those are trophies, man. All right, that I've gotten for I don't even know for what. Okay, so
from this angle they look like bongs.
Oh man, hold on. Now, you threw me off, Kay. Come on, man. All right.
I was like, what is that? Like, what is going on?
Hey man, stop making fun of my green screen here, man.
Your collection. Yeah, I understand. My bad.
All right. So check this out. I want to show you this right here. Have you heard of NVIDIA RTX Remix? I'm sure you have.
Indeed, I have. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So, of course, I started kind of reading up on it, and I started looking at different projects that apparently. Okay, correct me if I'm wrong. This is what I'm understanding of this. Anybody can grab these tools and work with these tools to remix whatever game it is that they want to do. It doesn't need to be the developer, correct?
It doesn't need to be the developer, true. But let's be realistic. Any and every time you've heard this make a huge bit of hay, it's because it's been a big studio or a big production or a big project by a notable studio house or a notable developer that have done something in our NVIDIA RTX Remix, right? The last time you heard a big deal about it, it was when what do you call it? Valve took it and basically gave Portal a spit shine and made it look insanely amazing, stuff like that. You don't usually hear normals pick it up and really do much with it because the tools are, professional tools.
Right. Well, did you see this? Check this out. Let me share this with you here. And I'm sorry because I have a lot of
show me what you got.
A lot of screens open here, but did you happen to take a look at this? This is going to be rather controversial because we know that we have we got remakes coming for Max Payne 1 And two, but check out what this RTX remix stuff has done to this game with the path tracing on. You know, it's completely kind of formulated the game, and it just completely transforms it. And okay, this is just another example of like modding, but like to the next level, right? Like here you can see the path tracing on, right? And when you turn it on, it's basically like a new game. So I'm wondering, okay, is this gonna be kind of like, you correct me if I'm wrong, what I'm understanding is that this is basically going to be like mods. That's what this is. This is a mod that people are doing with this. But the reason that NVIDIA is kind of hyping it up is because, is it kind of like what are they really trying to sell with this is what I'm not understanding, because I thought that people have modded, you know, in the PC space all time. Why is it that NVIDIA in particular is getting behind this and pushing this? Is it because it's RTX? It's you know, they want people to see the potential of ray tracing? Is that what it is? It's a sales pitch from them?
Yeah. So the cynical view the cynical view is that they know that when it comes to rasterized performance, which is where graphics cards really compete, they are not as overarching the champion as they'd like you to believe, right? Because if the marketing is removed from the mix, they're going neck and neck with AMD. They just are. They have been for a while. But where they overshine, where they really shine right now, is in RT performance. As soon as you turn RT on, they're able to outshine AMD. So it seems that every time they have any kind of potential for marketing, they push people to the, hey, look at the whiz bang stuff we can do with RT, right? That's probably the cynical view of it. I mean, I think these things are cool. They are not full, real, authored, you know, from the ground up ray tracing / path tracing, but they get closer than you would without it, right? They get closer. The only other way you would get closer than that is if the author themselves went in and read and path traced it themselves, right? This is their version of, say, auto HDR, right? Although this requires actual hands on the pot, and auto HDR is an automated process. But still, I mean, by that I mean this is the pseudo-authored variant versus the author's version of events, which they haven't put in. So I think it's pretty cool, you know. There are, I forget what the name of the tool is called that used to do this in the open source space that's been running for a while. Actually,
Reshade or something like that.
Reshade, yeah, that's the one. That's the one.
That's the name of it, right?
Yes, you're right. Reshade is the open source tool, and there have been a few folks that have been injecting they've been injecting global
what, man? You're just saying there's a couple of dudes injecting. Yes. I mean, come on.
Injecting global illumination mods into them. Yes. So yes. So actually, if you want, that'd be an interesting thing that maybe we should do on this channel, because we're about that PCMR situation. If you want, maybe we should try and install because I played with it a long time ago. Another pause. Halo mod, Halo the Master Chief Collection, where I ran all of them with Reshade and had it like pseudo ray traced, if you will, because it's not really ray tracing. And the overhead to make it work, you need a really beefy GPU, as it were. You need like powerful hardware to make it run, but it's really cool looking. Like it makes Halo look like a completely different thing that you'd never experienced before.
I tried
it. Maybe we should try it out.
I think we should, and I have hands-on experience with Transformers, with the Transformer games.
Yeah.
It made like all the robots.
Yes.
Yeah, it made all the robots shiny, and it was nice. It looked like a brand new game. Yeah. So I mean, this stuff is cool. You know what I'm saying? I look forward to seeing kind of like what the community does with this stuff, because that's the thing about the PC side. You get the mods and the trainers and all that stuff, the PCMR advantages, I call it. Speaking of which, Kay, we got to talk. I got a device here that we got to talk about trainers and cheats and stuff like that later on.
Okay.
It's something that I need to figure out. But with that said, Kay, this past week, man, for the birthday, I was blessed with so many gifts, man. And
okay,
I am
what you get? Show and tell.
I'm okay. So let's start off with the light stuff. Okay, let's start off with the light stuff. So, as you know, I've been really heavy into the retro gaming scene. Okay, retro handheld gaming scene.
Mr. Retro Handheld guy. Yes.
Yeah, so I really like. I've been listening to podcasts. I've been following a lot of good YouTubers, man. That there's so many that are awesome. Look them up, guys, and I'll list some in the description for you guys. But I came down to two devices that I wanted to be my retro game handhelds. Okay, let me show you the first one real fast here. So the first one, and we talked about this a little bit last week, but I mean, I pulled the trigger on everything. The Anbernic, correct. So the way that I went about it was that I wanted something to satisfy the itch of that Nintendo NES, Game Boy Advance, that flavor, all the way up to
specifically a Game Boy handheld style, right?
Yes, but I didn't want to go all the way with Nintendo 64 or anything like that. I just wanted to go more 16-bit era. Okay, 32 bits the most. Okay, so what I decided on was the Mio Mini Plus. Have you heard of the Mio Mini Plus? Of course you have, right?
Yeah. Okay, nice screen. Yep.
So okay, I gotta tell you, I set this thing up. Here's something that I learned from the retro gaming community. There is such a passionate group of retro handheld gamers that people actually, once they get hands-on with these devices, they start not only doing like mods, hardware mods, which I'm going to show you a really good Etsy store in a second, but what they start doing is they start creating custom firmwares for them. Okay. And they're not really settling for what these companies are giving them. Like, okay, here's just press the button and then you're playing. No, you're talking about, you really see the love in like these firmwares. Like this device in particular, I messed around and I installed something called the Onion OS. Have you ever heard of the Onion OS?
Absolutely, yeah.
Completely customizable from front to end. Okay, from front to back. The loading screen that comes up when you turn on the device can be customized. Your whole dashboard, the sounds, everything can be customized up to your game library. It has a scraper for your artwork, for your games, all that good stuff. It has for retro achievements. It has everything built in to the Onion OS that you can tell that the community really got together and said, let's do something special. These guys are doing really, really cool stuff. If anyone out there is a fan of retro gaming, I 100% think that you should join the Discord. Not only our Discord, join that as well, but join the Retro Handhelds Discord. Okay, that's going to be on the description also. I have found that there are so many cool people in there, and they're not console warring or anything like. They're not worried about that stuff. They're just worried about doing cool stuff like this. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah,
and it's
course.
very refreshing.
It's about the hardware that you're dealing with now, and it's about the content that you're trying to get to run on it. Because today it's this hardware, tomorrow it's another piece of hardware. It is what it is.
Exactly. So I have all my Nintendo stuff on this device that I'm loving, but then my love for Sega. I gotta have some Sega representation in there as well, right? So what we did for the Sega side, okay, I told myself I want something dedicated to all the way to my Sega Saturn. All right. And what I got for that was the Anbernic RG Arc D.
Wow.
Okay. There's a D and there's an S. The D, in my opinion, it's worth the extra $30 because it has Wi-Fi.
Pause.
Yeah, pause. It has Wi-Fi and it has Bluetooth, and then you can. If
you go and clown on me for for my statements, that's a big pause, big D pause.
Okay, big pause. All right, pause on that.
What are you talking about?
So okay, this thing, the screen, the LCD on this thing, it screenshots, videos will not do it justice. It is.
Have you got it in your home yet?
Yes, I have
Okay,
both.
cool.
I'm in the process of setting up because there's also custom firmware for the Arc D. Pause. Okay? So there's also custom firmware that people
custom firmware with the Arc with the big D. I understand.
With the big D, okay? You got, and if you get this, you got to get the one with the D, okay? Not the one with the S. So
why not the one with the S? What's the difference between the D and the S?
Well, this chipset is a little bit more powerful, and and it has Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. Okay.
Understood. Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So
definitely get the big D.
Yeah, definitely get the D. Okay. So that's for that Sega flavor. Okay. I'm still working on this one because I wanted to be more Sega oriented, and I'm tweaking the menus and stuff like that because I want all the sounds, the dashboard, everything to have a Sega feel to it. Like if Sega made this thing, okay? All right. So here's the next part of this. There's also this passionate community that is doing insane hardware mods on these things. Okay. And you see them as little devices, and it's like, oh, I don't know about that. And you got Riskit saying he Riskit. I don't know, man. You got the big D. That doesn't sound good, man. I think be careful there, man. All right. I don't want to. I'm just saying. It sounds weird.
You brought that on yourself, man. You and your D talk. I'm just saying. You brought that on yourself. Anyway, continue.
I'm just saying. All right. So
you're the one with the missionary gamer conversations. There, continue.
Hey, as you can see, I don't practice missionary gaming. I even got handhelds. Okay, I'm the Kama Sutra gaming here. All right. So what we have here,
man,
check
that
this
is
out.
terrible. Go ahead, continue.
Check this out. So this Etsy store right here is called Sakura Retro Modding. These people, okay, they got amazing stuff going on in this store. Okay. You got custom buttons to turn your handheld. Like if you want it to be a mini PS1, you can do so. They have different color buttons that you can modify these things, and people are having a trip with it, man, showing it off.
Like, hey, look at that. They have my Retroid Pocket too. Go up a little.
Go up right here.
You were right there. Where Zelda on it. Yeah, that's the same thing.
There you go.
Retroid Pocket 2.
If you want to change the buttons on it, I'm sure that they have decals for it. The works, man. And so obviously my goal with my Mio Mini Plus is that I got the SNES buttons that I'm gonna do a modification on, and I also got the SNES decal. So that's a little something that I'm working on, which I'm excited.
I like the NES, I like the PlayStation buttons, the decals. Really cool. Well done. Well done. It's nice.
And they have it for all sorts of retro devices. It's not just, the Anbernics of the world. No, they do a plethora of them. Okay. All right. Okay. So that's just 2 devices that I got of 4.
Oh my goodness. This guy. So you going crazy this day. All right, go ahead. Let's see what you have. What else you got?
Yeah, yes, I understand, Mr. Joanna Dirk. The Switch can do all that, but the Switch, you're walking around with
the Switch
can do
exactly. Well, the Switch can do all that, but it's like saying that Fred Flintstone's car can drive. You gotta walk a lot. You gotta do all the climbing and you want it to do it by itself. This is not the old school, abacus stuff. No, we want some.
Let me ask you a question. Can you play? Can you play the Super Nintendo version of Turtles on Time in the Switch store, in the Switch Online? No, you can't.
Definitely not in the Switch.
You know why? You know why? Because Nintendo got that on lockdown. You know what my device has? Has every single Super Nintendo game ever made. That's why, Mr. Joanna Dark.
And I'm sure that you have a cartridge for every Super Nintendo game ever made.
I have it right here in my shelf up here. Okay, so. Let's see what. Stop doing the weird thing, man. You just want me to go to jail and get the big D, man. Get out of here. You just want me to get locked up and then Riskit comes to pay me a visit, man. What are you doing?
Oh my God, you're losing the thread already. Come on, continue. What is that about?
All right, you want Riskit to knock on my cell? Hey, John, I heard you want the big D. Oh, pause. What's going on here, man?
This is becoming a bad show. Continue. Hurry up. Get back on the rail.
Man. So the next thing, okay? The next thing.
Want him to go to jail, he says. Jesus Christ.
You want me to get locked up, man? All right.
Man. All right. What's up?
So this is honestly what I spent most of my time on this weekend. and it's because I really wanted to get hands-on with the AYN Odin 2. I picked it up.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, man, this is the one that's speaking my name. If there's one that I want to get, it's probably one of these AYN devices, because I have an Android device that's able to hit certain heights, right? Everybody knows that I have this guy right here, right? But we all know his chipset isn't that great, which is fine. It's still able to play many games, you know. It just isn't that super performant. This guy is far more performant than this guy. I really want to know what a powerful Android tablet. Well, I have a like a proper Android tablet, but I want a handheld that has like capable features. And I have a feeling this might be the one. Yeah.
After having Risky, you're killing me, man. I'm gonna have to stop reading I got my own handheld. I call it the Big
What
D.
are we doing? What are you doing? Like, stop. What are you doing?
Oh man, he's from down under, man. Okay.
That's right. Yeah.
What I was gonna say was, okay, after 2 days,
you enjoy you and your handheld. Enjoy yourself with your handheld.
Yeah, just be careful. Don't get too excited. So,
oh god.
Here's the thing. Okay, this thing is a beast right now.
Yeah.
The only thing holding this device back is not even the hardware. It's the software. It's the on the Switch side of it, of the emulation house.
You mean like Yuzu and things like that are not mature enough.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Yuzu is not at the maturity level of this device. This device wants to run it. It wants to do what you're asking it to do, but unfortunately, the software, man, it's too early. It's in its infancy stage. But we're gonna get there. We'll get there little by little. Okay, I think you got a super chat if you want to read that.
Yes. 4GQTV, that must be the brother. Oh my goodness, Carlo, good to see you, man. He says, great show so far, gents. Love the handheld emulation. Thank you, sir. We do as well. We appreciate you being here, checking out the show. Yeah, we figure we drop some topics and some interesting nuggets that we usually don't hear from gamers on here. Maybe we'll do some pointers. Maybe we'll learn something, teach something. So it's cool. We appreciate you being here.
What, you don't want to talk about Sea of Thieves going on PlayStation today? Come on, Kay.
No. Actually, I want to continue talking about Risk It and his handheld that he says is occasionally a 2-player occasion.
So
damn,
he believes,
man.
Hey, Risk It believes in the in what's that called, in the co-op experience. Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
He likes that co-op experience.
That's right. That's right. What's going on, clowns?
So, Kay, check this out. The Android side of the house on emulation, I told you before, I was doing a little bit of research and I'm very impressed with where they are.
Yeah.
Okay, I can confirm that all the emulators, the file system, everything is so simple that it's
simpler than Windows is what you're saying.
100 times easier. Okay, I figured this thing out in about an hour. Okay, where on the Windows side, it took me like a week to figure out a lot of stuff.
But to be fair, since most of this software are derivative of Windows software, you kind of did all the hard work on the Windows side, which makes Android easy peasy quick.
Yeah, but even
had you started on the Android side, you probably would have had the same learning curve. It's just you learned it all on Windows already.
Yes and no, because the plug and play aspect of Android emulation is just way easier. It's literally it's the file system, the ease of use. Just it basically tells you click here, click here, click here. It really
it's
holds
not as
your
complicated.
hand.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. It
all
really holds.
Yeah.
Think of it. You know how Apple gives you that easy, it just works experience.
Don't do
Android.
That to me.
Android emulation. I'm telling you, Android emulation just makes it easy. It just points you.
No, okay.
Hey,
I
drop
get that,
the file in there.
It's a flat file system, meaning you don't have to get all complicated with various layers and levels. All you do is you put the file there. It sees the file is there. You move on. I do get that.
Exactly.
The reason why for me anyway that it's never been ready for prime time is until recently it hasn't had processors that could really keep up. You know what I mean? Like you can do your emulation fine if you're sticking in 2D land and whatnot, but don't think about emulating a PS3 game, like proper PS3 game or a proper 360 game or something like that.
We're not there yet.
That couldn't be done, right?
Yeah.
Still not done, right?
We're not there yet. So
yeah, but it's getting there. Yeah.
So the only systems that Android still hasn't caught up to is the Wii U, the PS3, the 360. So
the Wii U, really?
Yep. There's no Wii U
isn't
emulation
the
on
Dolphin
Android.
Isn't the Dolphin emulator
no,
for Wii U, or is that just GameCube and Wii, right?
GameCube and Wii. Okay.
Yeah.
But again, these emulators on the Dolphin side are pumping out 1080p graphics on this little thing. It looks like a brand new game. Like I was playing Metroid Other M, beautiful. Nintendo can literally release that on the eShop today, which they probably will for Mr. Joanna Dark because he's gonna buy it. Okay, so there's a little shot of Mr. Dark there. So, okay, I'm having a lot of fun with this thing. I installed GeForce Now, Game Pass, all the good streaming stuff. It has a Wi-Fi 6 chip in it, so everything is running like butter. Now,
super fast,
the only thing that someone might see it as a negative, okay, is the size of the screen. Pause again. We're going from the big D, we're going down a little bit to a 5-inch screen. Okay, so that might be a little bit of a turn off for some. Okay, but it's not about it's about the motion in the ocean. Okay, and the device.
I think I'll let you read this one there, Mr. John Wolf. Go ahead.
John Wolf, I heard your slander earlier. Keep playing with Fisher Price handhelds. You still in the D League. ROG Ally, last place. Flip DS. Wow. $5 from Mr. Joanna Dark. Listen, that $5 right there just proves one thing. You feel intimidated. I'm in your head, kid. I'm in your head.
Oh, wow.
Okay? I know that you stayed up all night last night thinking, man, John Wolf is catching up to me, man. He might be the emulation king. Okay. So I love Mr. Dark. So
starting some stuff in the chat. Okay, go ahead. Keep going.
Okay, if you were to pick up this device, man, I'm telling you right now, I don't think you will be disappointed. It's a lot of fun. The battery is a beast on this thing, okay? All right, it has an 8,000 milliamp hour battery. I was literally on this thing all day, and I didn't need to charge until the nighttime. And I mean, I was messing around, trying out games, trying out, different emulators, stuff like that. Amazing, brother. Amazing. So
question for you. And I think I know the answer, but I just want you to confirm. These handhelds, none of them are actively cooled, right? They're all passive cooled, right? There are no fans spinning in there, are there?
There is a fan in there.
There is a fan in there. So yes, it is actively cooled.
Yes, and it has three subsets. AYN has done a great job of really customizing the tools that gamers would need. So for example, from the software side, you pull down your menu system just like you do on your Android phone, but you have gamer related shortcuts. Like for example, do you want the Switch layout or the Xbox layout for the app you're about to use? And then you can choose in between.
So basically they kept the Android shell, but let all the buttons be configured specifically for gaming. Right. Interesting. Okay.
Really cool. The fan, you have a smart fan system that that's the way I have it set up. That's the way many people recommend it. When it needs to kick, it'll kick by itself. You don't even have to think about it, but you can also put it on for more performance games.
So at some point it stays dormant until it needs to kick in.
Yes. Okay. Here's another thing that people are doing with this little powerhouse right here. They're side loading Windows on it. Okay? And I'm just starting to see videos of that surfacing. Now, let's keep all expectations in
Windows
check.
on ARM, which is kind of okay.
Let's be real. You're not going to be playing you're not going to be playing Starfield on this thing, but I bet you're not even going to be playing Minecraft on this thing. Probably not even Minecraft. It depends. That I still got to do a little bit of research on that to see what the Windows side of the house can represent.
Wow. Joanna Dark is just relentless right now. Go ahead. He got more for you, man. Keep going.
Mr. Joanna Dark, an additional $199. I'm in your head, kid. Remember that. Soup Kitchen of handhelds, Mr. Niles Wolf. I got my knees back, by the way, okay? I got my knees back. So
That's terrible. Okay,
So,
keep going.
I'll be talking more to you about this device. I got the all white one there, dude. It looks like a beautiful handheld. Even my wife complimented on it. She's like, "Wow, that looks very, Apple-ish." It was it's solid. The ergonomics are great. The joysticks are a little bit small, but it's okay. I mean, this device is honestly something that you will take with you on a trip, and I think that this is all you need. This is all you will need. Cool. The last
I'll be honest, I'm jealous. I'll be honest, but it's okay.
I'm going this week. This is what I'm going to do. I want to tomorrow. Let me throw in a couple of plugs here for us. Tomorrow, I want to remind everyone that on our Discord around 8 p.m. we're going to be having our discussion for the Game Club Game of the Month, Prince of Persia. Okay, the Forgotten, what is the Forgotten King? What comes after that? I forgot already. But we're gonna be having our discussion on that. Come on by, guys. Join the Discord. Okay, can you put the link in there for me, brother?
The Lost Crown.
The Lost Crown. Yeah, I thought it was the Forgotten King or something like that.
The Lost Crown.
The Lost Crown. Which so far I'm more than halfway. Okay, I'm loving the game, man. I'm really really digging it. Come on by our Discord. We're going to be having a discussion on that. And also, sometime this week, I'm going to be doing a live stream on the Discord showing off the AYN Odin and all the emulation goodness, because I want you guys to come by and check that out. Okay?
Cool.
So, okay, I got one more thing that I got for my birthday, and I didn't think I was going to get this, but I got hit up on the side, and we worked out a deal, and yeah, man, and it got to me on Saturday night. Do you know what that is?
What is that?
I am now back on Team Steam Deck.
There he goes.
I got the OLED.
Let's see it.
Deck. Okay.
Oh, there he goes.
Hold on.
Okay.
I'll be right back. Let me.
Okay. See, there you go. Joanna Dark joining the winning team once more. I see what you're doing there. Now, so that means that you finally have done the righteous thing. And you have thrown your old ROG ally in the bushes, right?
No. When I tell you that I am not a missionary handheld gamer, I mean that. This is the
and
way
as you see, Joanna Dark is righteously putting the pay pigs emoji in the chat because that's what you are,
sir. 100%. Listen, guys. As gamers, you got to be real with yourself and realize something. Number one, we're all pay pigs, and number two, we're all frauds. As gamers, I'm sorry.
Hey.
100%.
Speak for yourself, man. I am no one's pay pig. Continue.
Yeah, right. You got a 4090, man. You're a pay pig, okay? So
hey now.
Come on, man. You got 7 hard drives.
I am building a home server. You don't know what a home server entails?
Yeah,
it requires the stripe drives.
Because you need 100, gigabytes of each drive and 50 terabytes of this.
So okay. So this is for the PCMR dudes in the chat.
Storage pay-pig.
Hold on. This is for the PCMR dudes in the chat. Mr. Wolf is new to this console, to the PC game.
Wow.
No, to the PC game. He doesn't understand that stripe storage does not let you do just one disk. You have to do at least successions of 2 or 4 or 6 or 8. That's how it works. You cannot do one drive. It's true. You can. Okay. That's why it's called a home server, and not just a server, not just a computer in the corner. It's a home server. It has specific ways that it works.
We're gonna make merchandise called "We All Frauds," and you better wear it, man. I'm gonna send you a shirt. Okay, We All Frauds.
I refuse to take that moniker, sir. I build things for purposes. This thing has a good purpose.
You bought the Asus ROG Ally. You are a fraud, sir. Okay, and I don't care that you were on a trip and you needed it. Okay.
All right, I'll give you that on the Ally. I'll give you that for the Ally. On the Ally front, I'll do that because I had a show and I want to talk about it. But that's neither here nor there.
I don't even want to mention the OLED. Okay, but you'll talk about that.
Well, the OLED is mine.
Right. So again. Mr. K. Asante pay pig.
I have no one's pay pig. Cut it out. Anyway.
Yeah. Look, hold on. Was that Gabe in the background there that just went out of your room? No, my bad. Okay, I thought that was Gabe. Okay, so what's this called? So yeah,
me and Gabe, we have a different kind of relationship. Stop it.
Hey, man. As long as it doesn't involve D's, we're good. All right. So
hey now.
So Gabe, Um, messing around with the Steam Deck OLED yesterday, I'm reminded of how good Valve did the portable handheld, man. I'm really reminded how well that software works. The Steam OS is very turnkey. It just works. It feels good to navigate their menu. It feels good even to install games. It's very intuitive. It tells you exactly what it's doing. Windows, the day that Windows decides to do something to match this, they got a lot of work on their hands, man, because what Valve has done is they have completely reinvented what PC gaming should be, and it should be easy. And to be honest with you, I think that they, more than anyone else in the history of trying to introduce people to PC gaming, they did it, man. I mean, I think that they've done it. Okay. Oh, you know I'm gonna buy it. You know I'm gonna buy it. Come on.
But this is why I'm always telling people, you know, people call me, oh, you're capping for Gabe. No. This is the best console-like experience you can get on any kind of handheld. Not a console experience, console-like, where you get both the benefits of the console plus the benefits of being able to edit and modify it and add your own spin on things. It's the best of both worlds. It really is. Windows gives you great usability and dynamics, but it also comes with a lot of BS and a lot of cruft and a lot of, you know, having to learning curve and all of that. I'll do you one better to your statement, right? I'm not even saying that if Windows tries, they're gonna have a long time ahead of them. If Windows does not wake up and Valve goes, hey, okay, everybody, you can now just install SteamOS as a open source thing that everybody, it's a wrap, man. At least in the handheld space, at least in this handheld space that's growing and maturing, it's automatically overnight going to turn to Steam Decks. All of
the only people that will be hesitant are anyone that is solely tied to Game Pass, or anyone that needs to play a game that is because of the anti-cheat stuff. That's it.
And let's be clear. The anti-cheat stuff will change when people go there. When people go there, the anti-cheat community and the companies will put the effort in to make a good one on Linux. There used to be anti-cheat software on Linux. It just wasn't worth the upkeep because usually games aren't played there, right? That's before Steam Deck. If SteamOS becomes a thing and a lot of people are playing there, it is worth their while to make the anti-cheat work there, right? So I don't expect that to be a problem. The other thing that I don't expect to be a problem is when everybody's using this stuff, you'll get vendors that will support it. Steam will start supporting it. And what will happen? Microsoft will start losing what they have, which is the smallest grip they already have in this space. They better iterate quickly. Like, I need them to iterate quickly.
They have, I mean, just looking through the menu of the Steam Deck for anyone that has one or has played on one, it's it's miles ahead of anything that it's like I'm telling you, Microsoft has a lot of work to do to even scratch the surface of what the Steam Deck is doing. Like, honestly. And I fear for them because I think that I don't know why. Maybe, you know what? This brings up an interesting question I want to ask you that I've been thinking about. What do you think is taking Valve so long to officially release this to people? What do you think is the missing components that they're working on? Like I would think that they would try to flood the market already, but it looks like they have a strategic game plan here. What do you think that might be?
Well, okay, so I think the problem that they have and the strategic element that we may not be accepting or grokking is up until now, right? They have customer service. You've dealt with Valve and their customer service for a long time, and they've been able to be the way they are because they leave it up to the vendors, right? They leave it up to, hey, this game is busted. Go hunt down whoever made the game. That's how they've always been. That's how they've always been able to get away with, right? And because of that, you love the service for what it does, but anytime any of them craps out on you, you don't go to Valve, you don't hunt down Valve, you hunt down whoever else made the game, right? If and when they start allowing this operating system to be tossed on anything and everything, and they don't all work seamlessly, which obviously they won't. I can see the fear being, hey, we have to staff up, get a support tech support arm, because if you say it's open source, and well, if you say it's now usable by OEMs and others can use it, when they run into issues, they're going to expect that you can help them. And there's so many different variants of hardware under the sun, it becomes a pain in the butt. So if there's any place where I'm thinking they might have paused to not officially support it, that's where, right? It's one thing to like drop it like it's hot and say, here's the open source, go do with it what you will. It's another thing to go, here's the official Valve Steam supported version, right? That means everybody will want to put it on the Ally or the Legion Go or any of those, which is fine because come on, Ally, Legion Go, those are popular, easy to do. But what about the GPD Win, whatever, or the Legion, or the freaking AOK Zoe A1 or the A1 Pro, or all the obscure weird devices that all run relatively the same type of hardware, but they have different variations, right? And if you are not one of the mainstays and your variation is unique, you're not going to get support. So now all of a sudden you run it Steam OS and you're missing something. And who do you blame? Steam. You don't blame the company who made it. You blame Steam and say their operating system sucks. So I think if there's a place where they're kind of pumping their brakes to kind of, honestly, I think it'll teeter between either opening the door to certain OEM partners, versus opening the floodgates and letting anybody install it. Because if you let anybody install it, you have to kind of put things in a way where if something goes down, you have a reason, or you have a method of giving them support, or a reason to tell them to go pound sand. You know what I'm saying? But if you support like a specific amount of OEM, so like let's say from now on, all of a sudden Aya Neo is now officially supported brand, and a few others are officially supported brands, and now you see them also iterating in that space, that would go a long way, I suspect.
Yeah, because what I can see happening is like a company like AOK, I can see them kind of replicating the Steam OS sort of, and putting their own twist on it. But I think that Valve is so far ahead that even for AOK being a way smaller company, that's a lot of work for them to do that.
Yep. I will tell you that the one thing that my A1 Pro, and I'm looking for it, is probably in my backpack. One moment, please.
Sure. So
This is what happens when you go to work, right? You take the bad boy with you just in case you need to break it out during lunchtime. You know what I'm saying? One thing that's a thing that I will tell everybody, and everybody that knows that I have this device, I always say it. I do not recommend anybody buy it, like unless you know what you're doing. Why? Because the software is not great, right? It doesn't have great software. They're okay. They get the job done, but it doesn't have like tremendously great software.
Are they A-okay? Or just
they are A-okay. They are A-okay. Gotcha. But they have great hardware, better than most. Even today, like how old is this device? For some reason, it still has better battery life than most other devices out there, right? It still has an 8-inch screen. It still has 64 gigs of RAM, this version that I'm using, right? So, I won't recommend you use it because the software isn't up to par. But the moment Microsoft releases a good version, this thing becomes tip of the spear because now it doesn't need to have great software. All it needs is the hardware.
Right now, it's for power users right now.
That's right. Yeah. It's for power users. It's for people who can use the open source to really get what they need done, which is fine, right? If you want that great Armory Crate like type software, this won't cut it for you. They have their version, but it's not that good in comparison. Right. But at the end of the day, as soon as Microsoft releases a good variant that kind of makes a unified way of accessing TDP ranges, accessing various button remapping, things like that, the stuff that everyone shares among them, that's what we're looking for. Right. Then these devices become very, very useful and very, very necessary. Right now, they're just kind of on the fringes.
Let me ask you this, though. And I know it's not like a turnkey solution for them, but if like let's say that I was just to want to live in the Steam ecosystem on my Asus ROG Ally, I could just kind of set it up to where it launches in big box as soon as I turn on my computer, right?
Absolutely. You can set it up so that as soon as you launch it, it launches big picture mode, and you're done.
Oh, big
and
picture
that's
mode.
it. Yeah, and then you're just in big picture mode all the time, and you're just running in big picture mode. Yeah, you can just totally do that. It like the problem there, and it's not really a problem, but what you'll notice is that Steam will never be its native experience, meaning like the buttons will never map correctly. Like certain buttons will never work absolutely correctly because they weren't meant for the Steam operating system. Like I'm speaking from experience running it on this thing. Like there are certain buttons in the corner that just won't work anymore because they weren't meant for that. You're gonna have to go in and manually find a way of mapping it yourself. It's possible, but it's not easy or fun, right? Like those are the things that keep people from just putting Steam big picture mode on here and calling it a day, right? This is, by the way, what you're looking at. This is their version of the Armory crate, which it gets the job done. It does. It's just the pages and pages of your apps, but it's not as intuitive. You know, you can't be as dynamic with the covers. It'll load what it can load. If it doesn't find the righteous one, it makes it more difficult for you to replace it. It's not perfect. It's not great.
Right.
And they know it's not great.
And when you launch Prince of Persia, Ubisoft thing still pops up. Yeah, I got you.
Oh yeah, the Ubisoft stuff still the Prince of Persia thing still pops up. I can fix that part with like Play Night or Launchbox. I don't care enough to do that. You know, I'm solving other problems. Once I've solved those other problems, I can resolve the issue here. Do you want to know what the problem this thing has?
What's that?
And I'll tell you what problem this thing has. And you would think this issue is weird and obscure, so because it's only this device, but another device like the Legion Go has the same exact problem. Okay. And so, you know, these devices all are now getting FMF, fluid motion frames, right? And everybody's all excited about it. Combine that with RSR, which is what is it? Jesus, I'm forgetting these acronyms. Super resolution. You know, if you combine super resolution with fluid motion frames, you get higher upscaled picture, and you get extra frames added in. So it's faster and it's bigger without using as much resources, presumably, right? Most of these devices, not all of them, but a lot of them, their panels are portrait displays. Meaning they were built like this. This is how they were built. And then in the software, they are turned. So when you go into the software of the display and you look at it, it says landscape flipped. It doesn't just say landscape, right? It says landscape flipped. So does the Legion Go, same thing. And because of that, the resolution, because in the AMD parlance, it's trying to find the access resolution. So it's 1600 by 1080. 7 by 720. AMD's super resolution is looking for that specific axis to trigger those things. And since it's backwards, it won't trigger those things. So even though it should be 1920 by 1080, it's 1080 by 1920. And because of that, it won't trigger it. And people are losing their minds. The Discords are losing. It's like, oh man, you can't even get fluid motion frames working, this and that. And I can tell you that there have been the preview plus drivers that have worked, right? And then the regular drivers come out and then they stop working, right? Now, of course, this is where somebody from Asus ROG Ally will go, well, Ally gang. Ally doesn't even have fluid motion frames at all. So that's unfortunate.
Not yet, sir. Not yet.
Not
sir.
yet. Not yet. Okay. Yes. Not yet. But
it.
These are the problems. So these are the nitty gritties of the handheld market when you get into it. And it's not only even the edge cases that have it. Even something like the Legion Go has exactly the same problem. It uses, you know, these are the things that you wouldn't know to look for it when you're looking into the device. But if it happens to have a portrait display, it makes it difficult for certain cool new features to kick in.
Right. And for anybody that's new to the PC space, the thing that I was reminded again in using the Steam Deck OLED yesterday was just even the way that they've kind of designed the kind of like the tools. It's very intuitive to let you know exactly what each thing does. So for example, if you want to, you know, lower the frame rate, it has a slider, very easy to understand what that's for, very easy to understand your FSR, all that stuff, they have really tweaked it to where a novice person can say, what does this do? What does this do? And they let you tweak around, and that's kind of like how you tip your toes in. So I think
Absolutely.
that
Exactly. Yep.
they
Yep.
honestly are another whole other level when it comes to stuff like
and
that.
those things you're describing, those are the things that I want Microsoft to incorporate into the operating system. Because if there's a universal TDP slider, if there's a universal frame rate limiter, if there's a universal readout of all of your potential settings, which they're starting to do very lightly with Game Bar, right? Very lightly they're doing it with the Game Bar, but do it properly with the Game Bar. Get plugins from every version. Oh, here's an AMD plugin that then allows you to see the sensors of the AMD hardware. Here's an Intel plugin, lets you see Intel, right? Intel motherboard sensors. You can do that. Then you can be that one-stop shop that shows everybody like what's going down. I think they are wasting the opportunity, and by the time they go, "Ooh, we figured it out," Steam will be everywhere, and you'll be too late.
Yeah, I can see it coming already, Kay. I mean, I just think that they're just so far ahead of the curve that Microsoft would really need, and I mean, they got the money to do it. It's not a money thing. It's just what's the appetite? What is the appetite for them to do so? I mean, right now, it's a golden opportunity. Everyone is at the starting line. Valve is a little bit ahead, but everybody.
The appetite for them to do it. The appetite for them to do it is that Valve is isolated and doesn't want to share their OS, and everyone is by de facto using their OS. So make it great, and they'll continue using your OS. You don't make it great, and Valve opens the door, and you're screwed.
Do you think that it's a case that they just think that people need Windows? They'll use it whether we give them something or not. They need it.
No, I don't think I don't think they're dragging their feet necessarily, or that they're being lazy necessarily. Like, Windows is a bigger nut to crack than most people understand. Like, the tech debt in Windows is massive. And what I mean by that is, like, every time they go to add something new to Windows, they have to make sure they don't break something old in Windows, right? You don't ever start on a new page, right? You're starting on page 50,000 every time. You know what I mean? Like, it's just more and more and more. And like games, it's a hodgepodge tentacled beast applications are, especially old applications. You touch something on this edge, you break something all the way back there. And now you got to go deal with, you know what I mean? And they are not ones to break loose and start fresh. They will continue and make sure, oh, we don't leave anyone behind. So they'd have to build it in a way that helps the new while still retaining the old. And that's what makes everything always so complicated for them.
It's almost like if maybe what they should do is kind of like what Valve did, that it's just like a completely, like, your device will be recognized. Windows will recognize what type of device you are on, and maybe there it can take you just to this front end where they just create something on the side. Is that, you know what I'm saying? Just a way to figure out how to do that.
So Valve was lucky, right? So let's be fair and not say that Valve is masterful, because all they did was leverage what's already inside Linux, right? Valve was smart in using an operating system that is modular. And what that means is it only lets you use pieces that you need. You only want the command line stuff. Here it is. And then the desktop stuff is gone, right? Out of memory, out of use case, completely gone. So you save your resources, right? If you want to use the desktop stuff, there it is. And then, right, they keep everything modular. Whereas Windows, everything is full fat and it's right there. So in order for Windows to be a successful, to do that, they will have to modularize some pieces of their operating system. Not an easy feat for something with as much tech debt as Microsoft has, right? You can still see the Windows 95 control panel in Windows 11. It still exists. The same control panel, right? They've tweaked it every single time, but that OG control panel from Windows 95, 1995's 95, is still in there in 2014. I mean, 2024, I should say. So it makes it difficult for them to make any kind of quick dynamic moves, right? I'm hoping that they take some lessons and they start snipping in here and there. Otherwise, by the time they figure it out, somebody will have beaten them to the punch, you know?
Gotcha. All right, Kay. Well, I'm gonna call a wrap on the show, man. I think that we had a great time. We talked about a lot of stuff. there is one little thing that I want to talk to you about, and that's to remind the good folks, because I heard a lot of podcasts this past weekend while I was working on my new devices. There's a lot of concern from the Twitter space that physical media is going away, preservation, all that's good stuff. I want to remind people emulation is a way for preservation, and as well as leverage the PC space for
no. I will do you one better. You are wrong, sir. It is not a way. It is the way. It is the only way. The only way. Let me tell you that. It is the only way you own anything. You don't own anything. If you are a console gamer for any time past the Xbox 360 or the PS3, all that stuff you have in your house is lies. They are fooling you. All they are frisbees that you turn into paperweights when they decide to turn the servers off.
Okay,
the only way you own it.
Okay, I thought that my Halo Infinite disc had the whole game on it. Is that not the case?
The only way you own it is if you are like a troglodyte like me and have 36 terabytes where you can put something on that bitch. If you don't have space to put them on, you don't own them. That nice library of 300 games you have in the Steam library, it's nice until it's no longer available to you.
But Kay, truth. I thought that, you know, the game that I bought the other day, I thought the whole game was on the disc. Is that not the case?
Yes. Think of it again, sir. Think of it again. Yes.
You might as well use it as coasters, guys. It's the only way. Emulation. Okay. So
only way.
And also leverage, if you're on PC or you have a PC handheld, leverage deals.gg, people. Kay has told you about this before. Every single day I have it saved as one of my favorites to open up on my web browser. And every single day I look to see what deals I can pick up. I just picked up today, I think, remember Neo? You know how Neo, $8.
Yeah. There you go.
$8. Okay.
There you go.
And I already own it on PlayStation, but I wanted the PC version.
One last cheap plug for the Discord, which I just put in the chat. In the Discord, one of our channels is sitting there, and literally all it's doing, we have a bot, and all it does is aggregate all the free content you can find across the internet, whether that be from Epic Games or Steam or whatever. Anytime a free game is anywhere and it's available anywhere, our bot captures it and puts it and lets everybody know.
But let's be real.
So
let's be real.
Check it out.
Even if it's free on Epic, you're gonna buy it on Steam. Come on, we all pay pigs.
You're just ridiculous, though. You're ridiculous. Unlike Mr. John Wolf, I appreciate free stuff, and I will not be paying for it if it's free. But continue, sir.
Let the good folks know what are the shows you're going to be on this week, man, where they can catch you, and what you're going to be up to this week, man.
So honestly, I will be. Let's see. I hopefully will be with the brothers on Primetime Gaming on Wednesday with Mr. Boomstick and friends. I say hopefully because these days work has been kind of burying me in the sand, but hopefully I should be all right, and you'll catch me on that Wednesday. If not, I will of course be available on Saturday mornings. Not prime time for us, but
Saturday morning cartoon time.
We call it cartoon time. Yes, we call it cartoon time. Yes, where we'll be having the Gaming Circle podcast with myself and Mr. Everborn Saga. Otherwise, of course, we're back here again next week Monday night, talking more PCMR. Maybe we'll have some more game talk next week. Real quick, if you haven't played it, play The Cub, ladies and gentlemen. The Cub.
I picked that up today.
You did. It's a short experience. Try to finish it from beginning, middle, and end. Just try it.
Deals.gg.
You should be able to do it.
Deals.gg. You can get it for $5.98 today. So go
there
now.
That's amazing. And I thought it was a deal when I bought it for $10. It is a scream at $5. Holy crap. If you've played Inside, this is that. Play this game. It's amazing.
For sure. I'm going to give that a try after I finish
How about you, sir?
Prince of Persia.
What are you up to this week?
You know I'm doing one game at a time. I've kept it. I've kept it, Kay. So I'm only playing Prince of Persia and messing around with the emulation, but not playing anything directly. So Floodzilla, it's okay, man. You'll catch us on the replay, man. We appreciate you, and we'll catch you on the Discord. We've been having great chats with Floodzilla on the Discord, guys. So that's why we want you to join the Discord, guys, because it's basically a continuation of of Gamers Circle podcast and the Gamers Playground podcast. That's all it is. It's a continuation, the unplugged version, if I'll say that. But me, Kay, I'll be back with you next Monday, man. Thank you so much, everyone. It was a great show, and have fun, guys. Don't be a missionary gamer, guys. Explore out there. Get yourself retro handhelds and PC handhelds if you can afford it, and have fun, guys.
And before we go,
what you got?
There is also there's also the memberships. We have the Missionary Gamer tier, we have the Hooves and Bots tier, and
I'm
the
on
Charge
that one,
Them More tier.
I'm on the
Missionary Gamer tier. I'm loving the emojis. Anyway, till next week. Peace.